Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the HG GBN-Base Gundam from Build Divers. Now what you see is, at the moment, the GBN-Base Gundam did actually make an appearance in the Build Divers anime, I believe on the last episode. Problem is that it did not appear in the anime in this color. I mean this color as in the RX-78 color scheme. It actually appeared as similar to the GBN-Guard's frame, which is basically like a mixture of white, gray, and black. So I was actually hoping to see that as a model kit as well. However, it did happen, but I did not expect it to see it in the RX-78's original color scheme. But okay, I did say original, but it's not actually the exact same color. The colors are all very bright, which I will show you guys later, and what I did make some changes regarding that. But before we go on to the review, I just want to point out is that the reason why there's a GBN-Guard is that according to the manual is that this thing is actually based on the GBN-Guard, which does make sense. But at the same time, some people were telling me or talking around the internet that this is basically a Gundam version of the Jim, which is also not wrong, because the GBN-Guard was also based on the Jim parts, and the build is kind of fundamentally similar to the Jim as well. So the build principle is being the same. It's just that the parts are not exactly 100% the same. So still, it's not wrong to say that as well. But as usual, we're gonna have to talk about components. So yeah. So first of all, let's talk about what the leftover parts. Yes, this thing does come with leftover parts. Oh boy, that was close. Let's talk about the leftovers first. As usual, number one, we get a leftover polycap, only the neck joint. Nothing too new. And this plate might be very familiar to a lot of people. This is actually the plate from the Jim kit, and also you might get some similar leftover parts from the GBN-Guard kit. HG GBN-Guard frame kit. So we have all these ankle stuff, all these parts that look familiar for connectors for backpacks, feet, and yada yada. So this is not entirely new. And for some reason, we get a leftover backpack. Not the entire backpack. You only get one side. You don't actually get the other side that actually connects to the back. But I just wanted to mention that. Alright, so now let's get on to the stuff what you're supposed to get. Now, I was basically expecting just two, for the equipment to be one beam rifle, one shield, two beam saber hilts, and two beam saber effect parts. Which you can see that I'm currently using two beam saber hilts on the backpack, one beam rifle, and one shield, and a shield connector for the arm. But you get more than that. So here they are. So number one, we actually get two beam rifles, so which is very nice. Honestly, I did not expect this. But also the beam rifle looks not like the original RX-70 that we usually know, but it does have that kind of the prototype Gundam beam rifle vibe into it. It's not exactly the 100% identical look or shape, but if I put this part away, it basically can be, treated like that. And then we actually get the weapons of the GBN-Guards. We get two of the beam pistols, the double barrel pistols, and their extension attachment parts like that. So yeah, that's also another good thing. And as mentioned, we get two beam saber effect parts as usual. And here we have another shield connector for the other arm, but you only get one shield. So I guess this would consider a leftover part. And then the sticker sheet. Now the red ones are for the head cameras, front and back. And then for some reason we get two eye stickers. Even the manual does mention one of them is just a leftover, or just in case you ruin the first eye sticker. Alright, so let's get on to the review. Now before I go on to articulations, let's just do a side-by-side comparison. Now you can see there's sort of like, if you look at the legs, I believe the legs are pretty much the identical size, and then the white parts are pretty much the same. The feet are different, the knee sections is different. Yeah, actually on the back of the legs, I'm starting from bottom to top. On the back of the legs, the GBN-Guard frame actually had these black parts, which this thing does actually have them as well, but in gray. And then you actually cover them up, so you can see there are some differences. Obviously, the waist section is obviously different, and the top, body, and are pretty much different as well. The arm part, the arm pieces is actually the same. It's just like kind of a different tone of a color. So yeah, and the hands are obviously the same. The backpack also different. So we're gonna put that away, and I hope you don't hear the rotating sound of my display stand. But okay, so let's talk about the color. Now, I said original color scheme, but no, it's not exactly that. So it uses that color, which is basically the, the type of color, the white, blue, red, and yellow. However, the tone or the overall color is much more brighter than the original color of the, let's say, the RX-78 Revive kit. The blue is actually more of a light sky blue, like how the 00 Sky, or no, I forgot the name, but when it uses its Trans Am mode or Trans Am Infinity mode, um, oh, not Trans Am, but there's actually another, color variant of that kit, which actually I think is the same sky blue color. The red section that the RX-78 would have, this is actually a very bright pink. Now, I'm not sure my camera is taking that properly, but on the camera it looks a bit red, but when you actually look at it up front, it's actually pretty pink. And then the white sections, I believe, are more of a pearl white. It's just not your typical white color. It's actually more of a glossy pearl white color. And now the yellow section. Now, the yellow section was more of a fluorescent yellow color, which was definitely, I'm gonna admit, was very ugly. It's just so bad that I had to do something. So, this is the original yellow color. Yeah, it's like one of those fluorescent yellow colors. And what I basically did was to take out a Gundam, a gold Gundam marker, and then color all those yellow parts yellow. Color those yellow parts into gold. Luckily, there weren't many parts that actually was this yellow color, so it's not really that hard to color as well. It's just the neck section, the vents, and then the front and back section of the waist, or front skirt and back skirt armor. Alright, so now let's get on to the actual review. Now, let's start with the head. The head articulation, the head design, I actually really love it. You can still see or feel the RX-70 vibe into it, but a much more, I don't know, slick or slim design even than the original. So the eyes are obviously a sticker. The head camera over there is actually a red sticker. However, the inside of there is being actually the same pink as the chin. So that's why you actually use a sticker. But if you don't mind pink, you can just leave it over there because it's actually exposed. And a back camera. That one's actually you need to use a sticker because you're just putting a sticker on a white piece. So the head articulation, it can go down that much, up that much, and I think you can force it a little bit more, and then a 360 twist shouldn't be a big problem because oops, sorry about that. 360 twist isn't a big problem because, well, obviously it's on a ball joint, a plastic ball joint, not the polycap ball joint. And let's see, let's talk about articulation regarding the main shoulders. The shoulders, they're on the main shoulders are connected inside the body with a ball joint, and inside the body there's two polycaps that takes in those ball joints. So there's two moving parts. One is the ball joint itself. You can go forward and backward, and then the part that the entire body can also extend like that to the front. So you get more range. As mentioned, the vents, those are supposed to be those fluorescent yellow. I also colored them in gold. And definitely there's also more ball jointed waist sections right over here, so you get an ab crunch, a very nice ab crunch. However, if you do go overboard, it might just pop out like that because, it's ball joint, so be careful. At least it's better than breaking something. And then a 360 twist on the body, not too possible because there's some stuff colliding, as usual. Okay, so now let's look at the backpack. The backpack it definitely has that RX-70-ish design, but much more simple design, and usually there will be these circle markings, but as a smart design, they actually just put holes for pegs in there, so you can customize it. And then the beam sabers, they're actually kind of longer than your usual beam sabers, but you're basically very basic beam sabers. There's no markings on it, it's just like a round tube. Okay, and then the thrusters don't actually move, they're just stuck in there. And also the beam saber connector, the way how these things are connected is that there's a peg on the connector and then you just plug it there. There's no polycap inside the backpack, and yet it really sticks in there very nice and tight. Well, kind of, but still not loose at all, unlike the Gundam local types. Okay, so now let's look at the arms. Now I'm going to take off the shield. Okay, let's just take this off entirely for now. So the arm, as I mentioned, being on a ball joint, you can go 360 as well. And also the backpack, since it's on a peg, you can kind of move, you can kind of change the position of the beam sabers if you want to. 360 twist is possible. The arm can go, now this part is kind of stiff for some reason, but it can go 90 degrees to the side. You can see I'm kind of struggling here. Oh boy. Very stiff. And then a double jointed bend. That's pretty good. And you have a typical ball jointed hand, and then you have those wrists that actually move 90 degrees to the side. I think it can go, yeah, each side almost. So that's that. And there's the hole that connects the shield. Now let's look at the waist section. As mentioned, funny thing though, being like a more of a customizable kit, there's no hole on the waist armor. I mean side skirt, so that was kind of surprising. But once again, the front skirt, these parts are supposed to be fluorescent yellow. I colored them in gold, and I think, well, I'm not sure if you can see that, but oh boy. Now, if you see that inside, you can see that fluorescent yellow color. It's like a yellowish green color. And there goes the, part I was mentioning. If don't push it too much to the back, or that's gonna happen. So side skirt doesn't move that much. That's as far as it can go. And then the front skirt, they're also one of those front skirts where they come in a single piece, but you can divide them if you want to. And surprisingly, we do not get that V symbol on the crotch area, which is a nice change of pace. And the legs has the side swivel going on, and the leg can go technically to the side. If you didn't have the waist section, I mean side skirt, you can go more than, or kind of 90 degrees, but this is as far as you go for now. And can go up front more than 90 degrees, or a little bit more than 90 degrees, and then you have a nice double jointed bend. You can't go to the back because the back skirt does not actually have any movement or articulation. And your feet are your typical ball jointed feet, and the ankle guard is actually on the ankle joint right over there as a ball joint. And yeah. Okay, now let's talk about equipment. Now the hands are those, so you only get two hands for one hand for each arm. So they're the exact same hands as the GBN-Guard, so they're multi-purpose hands with the moving wrist. So yeah, but however, if you want to apply or attach the beams rifle, you have to do the annoying take off the handguard and then reattach it like this. And then same goes for the pistols, you have to do the same thing. So nothing too different on here. So yeah. So there's nothing too special going on. But for the beam sabers, luckily, they just slide in like that. And yeah, it's not that loose as well. Let's actually give it a test. So I'm going to attach the beam saber. You can see there's a lot of, leftover area for the beam saber. So you can see that it's kind of a longer beam saber hilt than usual. So once you have the beam saber effect part, it's going to stay there. Sure, it might slide a bit, but does not fall off that easily. And finally, for the shield, the way how the shield works, it's just the same basics of a shield, where usually that you would put a polycap inside, but this one does not require that. So the white and pink piece are separate pieces, and all you need to do is just connect the shield connector like that. And since it's on a peg, you can spin it around. Now usually some HGUC kits would have a option for another peg to be onto the back, so you can put the shield on the back, but this one does not provide that option. And there you go. It sticks on there pretty well. And that's pretty much it for the review. Now, I guess their main purpose of releasing this kit is to, like, we had the Jim kits, we had the Hymox, we had the Leo NPD, we had the GBN-Guard, so we had a good amount of like customization purpose kits out there, but most of them were like grunt suits or mass production types, but we never actually had a customization purpose Gundam type kit. Granted, we could say like pretty much every build fighter kit is like customization purpose, but not like from scratch or like a basic kit. So I guess this was their main purpose. I'm not sure what's the main purpose with the color. Also, while posting some pictures on Facebook, some people were telling me that the fluorescent yellow color is supposed to be, like, some people claim that this is supposed to be glow in the dark. Now, I took this into a dark room and it did not glow. I've seen some reviewers, Japanese reviewers, mentioning that if you expose it to black light, it glows. But I'm not sure if that's the exact same thing as glowing in the dark, or or the same material-ish. But just letting you guys know. Anyway, once again, I definitely would recommend this for first timers because this is a very good kit, pretty good quality, fun to play with, comes with a good amount of accessories. So, yeah, And if you're a big fan of the RX-78, this is also a pretty good kit to have and modify. Anyways, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the HG GBN-Base Gundam. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more kits to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!